So he was down there smoking under the moonlight, and then the buggy rolled in. But when the buggy rolled in, he stopped like 20 meters, 30 meters away, and he was like, "You could have just driven right up here, picked me up. We could have gone." So he walked there. He asked, "Why you stop like so far away? You could just came and pick me up, what?" He said, "Bro, you don't say so loud, but you look on top of the rest area. Because it's like a short building." He said, "You look on top." And he said he looked on top. And he saw like a lady just standing on top of it. Like where he was smoking. Like just on top of him. And then he was like, "Ah, we go first. We go." Zzz, he rolled and he was just, nope. He noped out.
I really don't feel good. I'm getting a
Is anyone here? What did you find?
You are listening to Supernatural Confessions.
Something that I mentioned in the last video is why the zoo is so... A lot of people will say there's like a lot of ghost energy. It's because if you put a place where there's captive animals, first of all, they're wild animals, and you leave them there for extended periods of time without human interaction or human energy, you're leaving that void. You leave that void open for something else to come in. So that's why they always say like, there's very little night shifts because at night, that's when things always happen. So last time when there was the Halloween Horror Nights, that was first at Mandai. And this is what I heard from the managers of the operation side. They said the reason why they actually cut it off is because there was too many things going on. And this was from a person who was there managing the operations of that. Said we couldn't keep doing it. There was too many stories. Every head count there was 1 or 2 people additional numbers or one less person. Or like we were walking, then suddenly like you'll be in one corner because the scare actors will hide in like ditches and stuff. And they always say there'll be someone with them or like someone just behind them. And then they'll be like, "No, I can't do this." And then they'll abandon their stations. And there are too many of these stories. And even the animals reacted to like seeing stuff, seeing empty stuff going by. Yeah, a lot of this kind of stuff. So that is, I mean, the unofficial reason, but the reason from the manager of the operation. One of the first few incidences was, if you can remember where the manatee tank is in River Safari. So if you go down to the bottom, it's very dark, first of all, in the morning. So when you go there in the morning, you need to always have a walkthrough, check on your animals. Yeah, the amphitheater area. But just behind it, there's like a super dark corner. So I went down there, you know, like check on the animals, check on everything, make sure there's no rubbish, things are ready for operations. So I was just standing there, kind of just, because it's the morning, I just was wasting time lah. So I was standing there, and from the back of, I heard people walking down the ramp. I thought like, that's weird, like nobody comes here at this time. I stood there, waiting for somebody to come. I was like, what the heck? Nobody's coming. I'm like, okay, whatever. And then right after that, from the like the exit doors behind me in the dark corner, I heard footsteps and talking. But there was no exit there, there's no door. It's legit just a black hole. And it was just like, not even talking, but like murmuring and like footsteps. I was like, it could be a person or it could be a ghost, but I'm not staying around to find out lah. So zip, out. I didn't go back to that corner. But yeah, I've heard, this didn't happen to me, but I've heard stories of Pontianaks. So where one of my rest areas were in River Safari, the back of the house, it's legit just a small building. And one day, one of my managers, my previous manager was working there. He just stayed back late, had paperwork to fill up, and he didn't have. At that time, we drive buggies at the back of the zoo, but he didn't have a buggy. So he was just doing his paperwork, and he finished really late. He was the only one there. And when you see Mandai at night, it is pitch black. You can't see anything. The lights where the animals are all turned off because they need to sleep. So it's just pitch black. And he came outside to just smoke because he called one of his buddies to come pick him up. So he was down there smoking under the moonlight, and then the buggy rolled in. But when the buggy rolled in, he stopped like 20 meters, 30 meters away, and he was like, "You could have just driven right up here, picked me up, we could have gone." So he walked there. He asked, why you stop like so far away? You just came and pick me up, what? He said, "Bro, you don't say so loud, but you look on top of the rest area." Because it's like a short building. He said, "You look on top." And he said he looked on top. And he saw like a lady just standing on top of it. Like where he was smoking. Like just on top of him. And then he was like, we go first. We go. Zzz, they roll and we just, nope. They noped out. Like I said, there's always that void, especially when people leave. Like in the day, the zoo is very lively. There's a lot of people coming in. But at night, when there's nothing there, it opens up that void. So that's like for the spirits to come in to be like, "Ah, that's my energy now. Let's use that to kind of go around." So there's another story of night safari particularly. If you go on the tram ride, between the elephant areas, there's one single elephant there. His name is Chawang. He will stand there by himself like his own exhibit. But just around, there's a small bend that goes around it, right? It's like a almost like a loop. If you ever notice, there's actually an empty like a hut, like a pondok there. Last time it was used for the staff to sit there and observe the animals, but they closed it off. They literally closed it off because what they say is that hut actually is the home of one of the Pontianaks in Night Safari. This is the operations that are telling me. And one time they went in with the tram, there was 3 people. They didn't think of anything about it because they don't believe in it. There was 3 of them. They drove by the hut, and the guy behind was sitting alone enjoying himself. Then they were just talking, the 3 of them, talk. And then suddenly the 2 people in front just kept quiet, and he was like, why is no one talking anymore? And this is right when they're passing that area. He was like, what's going on? Why no one talking to me? Then he could see that the driver was looking at him, but he didn't say anything, so he was like, what's going on? So they just went, drove. He drove through the entire part. Then at the end he asked, why just now you stop talking to me halfway? It's like, dude, just now when you were talking so much, there was somebody sitting next to you. I don't know what to say. I cannot tell you there was something next to you. But I couldn't say anything, so I just drove.
This kind of friends. Why didn't you tell me earlier?
I mean, what are you going to say,
What
right?
you do also,
Dude, there's a Pontian next to you. You push out. There's nothing you can do. So he was just like, okay, fine. Yeah. There's a place called Circuit Road. Circuit Road has a very, it's a very bad, I don't know, I just feel like it's a very bad energy. And I went there in the day, but I'll never go there at night. But the energy of the place is just it feels like you're choked. And because a lot of people say a lot of stuff happened there, like these are your rental flats, so there's a lot of stuff like murders that happen there, things that go unreported. And they say that the people who like dabble in black magic, you can find a lot of them in Circuit Road. And so the one time I recently went, I've never gone before. Well, when I went there for work, I was like, something is very off about this place. Like, don't know if it's the feng shui of the road, because it's a one loop, but the place just did not sit right with me. And it's worse than, because my grandfather's buried at Lim Chu Kang. I've been to Lim Chu Kang, I've been to off the beaten tracks. Those areas are fine. But Circuit Road has a very bad energy to it. So like for me, I don't believe that ghosts are always there to haunt you. Which is why when people ask me like, oh, you have your third eye open, aren't you scared of what you see? Yeah. I'm like, no. I don't do anything to legit, I don't do anything to them. They're just there, they're doing their own things. I'm just here doing my own things. Yeah. I just don't look them straight in the eye, because if they do, then okay, something's wrong. But it always, how I see it, because I look at it from a very scientific side also. Yeah. That's why I studied neuroscience. And there's always the conditioning, the question, like you become very questionable in those situations, right? But sometimes they're just things that cannot be explained. Yeah. Like maybe if you are depressed, you are going to have more of these experiences. Yeah. If you are happy, you may, highly likely you probably won't have these kind of things. But again, when it comes to energies, if you look at it from a scientific perspective, the world wants to be in a balance for most parts. Then there's entropy, where it's like the chaos, what it rules on. But for most things, there's that balance between good and bad. And when there's bad energy, something will want to feed on it also. So that's when things start to decay and get worse and worse and worse. And that's why I think that those places who are traditionally haunted, like, I don't know, like Old Changi Hospital or whatever, then that thing starts to decay even faster. Yeah.
I really don't feel good. I'm getting a...
Is anyone here? What did you find?
You are listening to Supernatural Confessions.